Well, good morning. It's good to be with you on this Wednesday morning. Pray that you're having a good week and that your Wednesday is off to a good start. No, earlier this year I was watching a basketball game. I actually watched several basketball games this year, but I remember this one in particular. We had the ball out of bounds underneath our goal. And as the referee handed the ball to our player to throw in, our guys began to move, and we had two guys cut to the corner. And it just congested the area, and one defender was able to cover them both. And I remember saying to Rachel, somebody didn't go where they were supposed to go. Somebody didn't know what was going on. And that is true, because you wouldn't run an inbounds play where they're both cutting to the corner. Somebody flashed and cut to the wrong spot, and somebody was at the right spot. You know, sometimes in life we get confused, and we don't know what we're supposed to do or what we're supposed to be doing. And we need some clarity. Our text today, as we look at the life of Jesus, is in Luke chapter 2, verses 41 through 52. When we look at this text, we understand that his parents had went to Jerusalem for the feast of the Passover. And Jesus at this time was 12. And as they're done, they begin the journey to go home. And the text says, and as they were returning after spending the full number of days, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents were unaware of it, but supposed him to be in the caravan, and went a day's journey, and they began looking for him among their relatives and acquaintances. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem looking for him. Then, after 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions. You know, so it's interesting. Now, here they are. This is the setting, the backdrop. They've left. They realize Jesus isn't there. It says they've gone a day's journey. Never really thought about this. The math part of this is not really a huge thing to me. But said they'd went a day's journey. So you'd figure it was a day's journey's back. One could probably conclude if they'd went a day's journey out. And then it says there in the text, then after 3 days, they found him. You know, we usually think about just the 3 days. If you look at that, a day out, a day back in, 3 days, it could have been up to 5 days that they're thinking about this idea of where is their son. Well, they finally found him. In verse 48, it says, when they saw him, they were astonished, and his mother said to him, Son, why have you treated us this way? Behold, your father and I have been anxiously looking for you. And here's what I want us to really think about in verse 49. And he said to them, why is it that you are looking for me? Did you not know that I had to be in my Father's house? You know, when we think about what he's saying here, the New King James Version says, be about my Father's business. The reality is, tying that back into what I was talking about a moment ago with the running of that basketball play, and they didn't know what they were doing. Somebody didn't. Here is the first declaration that we see out of Jesus, where he declares that he understands or knows who he is and what he's supposed to be doing. He acknowledges the Father, and he acknowledges the Father's house or the Father's business. He acknowledges what he's supposed to be doing, what he needs to be doing. And I think that's crucial. You know, in our lives, we need to get a better grasp and a better understanding of what we're supposed to be doing, of what our life is supposed to be about. You know, it's not about the material things in this life. It's not about building bigger houses and barns. It's not about providing everything from a physical standpoint. Our lives, just like Christ's life was to be about his Father's business, our life is also supposed to be about Christ and the Father and the business that they have put before us to do his will. You know, Jesus states numerous times, as we'll get to some of those passages, about it's his will to do the Father's will. And folks, I believe the same is true of you and I. It needs to be our will to do the Father's will. We need to know who we are, and we need to understand what our purpose is. And Jesus realized in this text, for the first time that we really see, he knew who he was, and he knew what he was supposed to be doing. And I pray that each of us will figure out who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me. I pray that you Have a great day, and I pray that God will be glorified in all that you do today.